Welcome to Video Podcast. Damn, can't remember again. I'm getting old. I believe this is 65. Video Podcast 65. This might be, I ain't going to say for certain, but this probably is going to be my only free video for the rest of the week. Yeah. I'm probably going to do at least one more video, if not two more videos between tomorrow and Sunday that are both going to be Patreon exclusive videos. So yeah, I would say probably no less than 90% chance this is going to be my last free video, probably for the next couple weeks. Because as I mentioned on my last video, next week I'm not doing any videos. Starting with a week from today, which is next Monday, starting with a week from today through that Sunday after Thanksgiving, I'm not doing any videos. So don't even look for any videos from me during that 7-day period. So starting with next Monday through the Sunday after Thanksgiving, I won't be doing any videos. Main purpose of this video, you should know the drill by now. If I do a free video, it's going to be either a rant, a ramble, an admonishment, or addressing feedback from listeners and viewers, and or addressing haters and critics. That's the basic formula for my free videos. Is ranting, rambling, admonishing, addressing feedback from listeners and viewers, and or addressing haters and critics. Get this out the way. Rise. Now you know my favorite flavor is called Shine. So I like these, how these go together. Rise and shine. Rise. Now, I think some of you all know, I get a little agitated when I find myself having to repeat stuff I've already said. But I guess that's inevitable when you're a teacher or a professor of sorts, self-help guru. I guess it's inevitable that you're just going to end up repeating yourself. And to give people the benefit of the doubt, there are some people who are fairly new listeners and new viewers of my YouTube channel that probably haven't gone back and listened to my past video podcasts. Matter of fact, some of my past video podcasts that used to be available for free, you can now only access them if you become a Patreon subscriber. So in that respect, I give a lot of you guys the benefit of the doubt. But as far as a lot of feedback I got in response to my last video about sexual harassment, sexual misconduct in Hollywood, as well as the charges levied against the comedian Louis C.K. An update on that, he actually came out and said that all the accusations and allegations that were levied against him were actually true. So he didn't deny any of them. That's actually rare. Because most of these other Hollywood types that have been accused of rape, date rape, sexual harassment, or sexual misconduct, I'd say probably 90-95% of them have denied one or more of the allegations and accusations that have been levied against them. But Louis C.K., since I did that last video, he owned up to them. He said that all of them were valid and true. So one of the things I mentioned in there is that, as I mentioned in a lot of my video podcasts and in my book, The Beta Male Revolution. Speaking of my book, The Beta Male Revolution, I got something to say about that in a few minutes. Yeah, a lot of guys wrote me a variety of notes, whether it was public in my YouTube comment section below. If you want to leave me public feedback in my comment section. Now, if you notice, I've been deleting a lot of shit in my last 3, 4, 5 videos. So a lot of y'all, man, who post shit in my comment section, it's been getting deleted almost immediately. I told you, man, if you post something that's just blatantly hateful and or insulting, I'm deleting the shit. If you're posting something that's what I consider an objective and intelligent disagreement to something I say, or an intelligent and objective response or rebuttal to something I say, I don't mind that. I'll keep that on there. Even if I don't agree with what you say, I'll keep that on there. But if you're just writing some stupid shit, I'm going to delete the shit. I'm going to delete, and I have been. I probably deleted more comments for my last roughly 4 to 5 videos than all my previous videos combined. I probably deleted literally probably about 75 comments over the course of my last 4 to 5 videos. I'm not tolerating the stupid shit, man. Oh, and all my urgent and relevant links in the description section below. I'm also posting my most recent article that I wrote today for the Negro Manosphere below that indirectly relates to the content of this. But yeah, here's I'll just highlight two criticisms I received from some listeners in response to my last video. One guy wrote me and said, Alan, what's the point of you being a dating coach if you can't help beta males attract the same quality and quantity of women as alpha males? Doesn't that defeat the purpose of you being a dating coach? This is similar to a question. I don't know if you guys watched that live stream when O'Shea Duke Jackson, who's the editor of the Negro Manosphere, interviewed me. What was that, last week? Or was that the week before last? That was the week before last. Yeah, a week ago Thursday. He interviewed me on his show. And I forget the specific question he asked me, but it was similar. It wasn't exactly the same, but it was similar. Well, he wasn't speaking for himself. He was speaking for other guys. He said, what if, I think he said something to the effect of, what if, speaking for some other guys, how would you respond to the notion that there's no point of hiring a dating coach if you can't guarantee me that I'm going to hook up with a woman that's a 8, 9, or 10 on that 1 to 10 scale? And my response was, that's like if you were a potential client of a personal trainer and you say to the personal trainer, what's the point of eating right and exercising if I'm not going to be able to get a physique like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime? I mean, that would make you look stupid. So you going to tell me you would rather be fat and out of shape than eat right and exercise if you can't achieve the exact same physique that Arnold Schwarzenegger had in the peak of his career? Here's the thing, man, and I was talking about referencing my old video podcast. I did a video podcast already called I'm Not a Matchmaker or a Miracle Worker. I'm not a matchmaker or a miracle worker. See, here's the thing you got to understand about Mo 1. Here's the thing you got to understand about the advice I give in my books. And I say this in the introduction of Mo 1. My advice is not designed to help a man attract a woman that's just totally 100% not attracted to him. Do you get that? Do you get that? Please tell me you get that. Nothing in my books centers around helping men attract a woman who just flat out 100% is not attracted to them. And I would take it a step further. Not only would I say none of the advice in my books is going to help you achieve that goal, But I would arguably say there's no book out there that's going to help you achieve that goal. And if some guy tries to tell you that their advice can help you in that area, I guarantee you they're either one or two things. On the negative end, they're a snake oil salesman, or on the positive end, they're some kind of unique unicorn miracle worker. That's the only two types of guys that's going to help you attract a woman that's just flat out not attracted to you. Is a man who's either a snake oil salesman, he's going to tell you he can help you do that, but you're going to end up not being able to do that, then you're going to want your money back, and you're going to want to, that's why the website PUA Hate came into existence. Because a lot of guys got taken advantage of by guys who were snake oil salesmen. That's literally 99% of the reason why you had the message board that's now taken down called PUA Hate. Because a lot of these so-called pickup artists and other dating coaches and seduction gurus were selling these guys on the idea that they would be able, that if they followed these guys' advice, they would be able to hook up with women that weren't even attracted to them. You can't hook up with a woman that's not attracted to you. I mean, seriously. You cannot hook up with a woman that's just flat out 100% not attracted to you. The closest thing you can do to that would bring me again to the subject of tricking. You know, I've been talking about tricking a lot in my last few videos. Tricking is probably the closest thing you're going to get to hooking up with a woman who's not. See, that's what a whore is. In its basic fundamental form, that's essentially what a whore is. A whore is a woman that's willing to have sex with a guy that she might find totally unattractive and totally not sexually appealing at all for a price. That's literally what a whore is. A whore is a woman that's willing to. There's technically three types of whores. There's just a basic whore. Then there's what's known as a sugar baby. Then there's what's known as a gold digger. All three of those types of women, just a whore, a sugar baby, and a gold digger, those are women who are willing to have sex with men, short term or long term, that they don't really find physically attractive, that they don't really find sexually appealing, as long as those men are compensating them financially. As long as those men are taking care of their financial needs. That's what a whore, a sugar baby, and a gold digger is. So that's the closest you're gonna hook. That's the closest situation you're gonna have to hooking up with a woman that's just flat out not attracted to you. Is if she's a whore. If a woman's a whore and you name the right price, she'll give you some pussy, even though she doesn't find you attractive or sexually appealing. But for the average woman who's not a whore, for the average woman that's not a whore, a sugar baby, or a gold digger, if a woman's not attracted to you, if there's nothing about you physically that she finds attractive, nothing about you non-physically that she finds appealing, she ain't going to have sex with you. She's not going to have sex with you. Period. End of story. And I've never said otherwise. I've never suggested or said otherwise. As you can tell, I kind of froze it. Now I done sucked all the juice out of it. But here's what Mo 1 is designed to do. Here's what the advice in my books is designed to do. Hold on a second. Okay. I don't like it when my chin is too close to the bottom. Mo 1, most of the advice in my books is designed to help men who are being held back by mainly three things. Men who are being held back from being more successful with women by mainly three factors. Number one, if the number one thing that's holding you back from being more successful with women romantically and sexually is the fact that you have a severe lack of confidence and or an unnecessarily high degree of egotistical insecurities, that's when I can help you. If you're a guy who has a severe lack of personal confidence and a high degree of egotistical insecurities, I can help you. Number two, if you're a guy that's being held back from being more successful with women because you have poor, ineffective verbal communication skills and poor, ineffective body language, I can help you. If the main thing that's holding you back is poor, ineffective verbal communication skills and poor, ineffective body language, demeanor and body language, I can help you. Third and final thing, if you just are lacking in the area of balls and backbone, I can help you. So if those are the three main things that are holding you back, severe lack of confidence and a high degree of egotistical insecurities, poor, ineffective verbal communication skills and poor body language and demeanor, and a lack of balls and backbone, that's where I can help you as a client. That's where I can help you as a client. Here's where I can't help you. If the main thing that's holding you back from being successful with women is the fact that you got personal hygiene problems, you got health and fitness related problems, you got grooming related problems, you feel like you're too short to attract women, I don't know, you're like 5'3", and all the women you meet don't want to date a guy that's 5'3", or you're exceptionally skinny, you're exceptionally fat, you got a microscopic sized penis. I mean, stuff like that, man. I'm just going to be real, man. I can't help you with those areas. I can't help you with physical related things. I told you, I reminded you again. Anytime you see me looking down and to my right, your left, that means I got notifications popping up. Yeah, man, I don't deal with shit, man. I'm not a personal trainer or nutritionist, although I've given some of my clients advice in that area, but I'm not any type of credentialed personal trainer or nutritionist, so that's not my main area of expertise. We can't change your height, man. I mean, if you're 5'3", you're 5'3". If you're 5'5", you're 5'5". If you're 5'7", you're 5'7". If you're 5'9", you're 5'9". I mean, that's something you just got to accept as is. Just like the main facial structure of your face, unless you go do some kind of major plastic surgery. I mean, like if your thing is you feel like your nose is too big, or your lips are too big, or your eyes are not the right color. I mean, if your hair is balding, they do have some services that help men with balding hair, man. But I mean, see, all that type of stuff, man, the physical related stuff, man. I mean, it is what it is, man. That ain't where I help man. So if things like that are preventing you, I don't help, man. Another thing not related to physical appearance would be your level of education, your level of career success, and your level of financial success. If you feel like one or more of those things is holding you back, again, that's not my area of expertise. I've given guys casual career-related advice or money-related advice, but generally speaking, I'm not any type of professional career advisor or academic and educational advisor or financial manager. So if areas of that, is what holds you back, I mean, I can give you my opinion. There's a difference between me giving somebody an opinion versus giving you what I call expert advice. My main area of expert advice is in the area of interpersonal communication skills. Interpersonal communication skills, and more specifically, verbal communication skills, body language, manipulative head games. See, the main two types of women I help men identify. I don't help men turn a rejecter into a reciprocator. That's not what I do. And I say that in my book, Mo 1. You know, I got 4 archetypes of women: reciprocator, rejecter, wholesome pretender / erotic hypocrite, and manipulative time waster. I don't help men turn a rejecter into a reciprocator. And again, I would take it a step further and say, I don't think there's a dating advisor out there that's going to help you turn a rejecter into a reciprocator. That is virtually impossible. That is literally virtually impossible. What I help men do is to not confuse wholesome pretenders / erotic hypocrites for rejectors, which is what a lot of men do. A lot of men have a bad habit of confusing a wholesome pretender / erotic hypocrite for being a rejecter. I help men change that. And then similarly, a lot of men confuse manipulative time wasters for being reciprocators. A lot of men mistake manipulative time wasters for being enthusiastic reciprocators. I help men in that area. So those are the 2 main areas I help men in when it comes to different types of women. I help you get a wholesome pretender or erotic hypocrite to admit and acknowledge that she's really a reciprocator. And I help men get manipulative time wasters to admit and acknowledge that they're really rejectors. So that's what I do, man. Again, I would reference my video, the one I did called "I'm Not a Matchmaker and I'm Not a Miracle Worker." Speaking of that, a lot of people confuse certain positions that sound similar, but they're actually different. And that would be, there's at least 4 different positions that a lot of people sometimes confuse and conflate with each other, but they're actually different. Matchmaker, dating coach, pickup artist, relationship expert. Matchmaker, dating coach, pickup artist, and relationship expert. Sometimes they do have similarities, but for the most part, they're different. Let me give you the gist of each. A matchmaker is who you want to hire if you're looking to hook up with a particular type of member of the opposite sex. A particular type of member. So if you're a man and you want to hook up with a woman that's a certain height, has a certain look, has a certain level of education, has a certain level of career success, has a certain type of body, etc., 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 has a certain type of family background or socioeconomic background, etc., that's when you want to hire a matchmaker. Burp number 1. That's a matchmaker. A matchmaker is going to help you hook up with a particular type of woman if you're a man, or if you're a woman, a particular type of man. And if you're a man and you fit the description of the type of man that that woman is looking for, then of course you two will match up with each other. Now, if a matchmaker finds you the type of woman you're looking for, but you're not the type of man that that woman is looking for, then that's not going to be a match. That's not going to be a match. For example, if you're a man and you're looking for a woman who's blonde with blue eyes, but you're a man who's Japanese, and that blonde blue-eyed woman is not looking for a guy who's Japanese, then that's not going to be a match. So not only, matchmakers can only help you, they're going to help you on both ends. Once you identify the type of woman you're looking for, you have to be the type of man that that woman is looking for in order for you to be a good match. So that's what matchmakers do. Pickup artists. This is the one that's most commonly confused with dating coach. A pickup artist, you could say, is a type of dating coach. But a pickup artist, their main emphasis is on helping men pick up women. And what I mean by pick up women, that means that a pickup artist is someone who gives you the skills to be able to say, go out to a bar, restaurant, or go out to a nightclub, or go to a social event, say on a Friday evening, and be able to persuade that woman to come to your place on that Friday evening after that social event, or she motivate her to invite you to come to her place that same Friday night after that social event. That's a pickup artist. That's what pickup artists do. That's their main specialty, is giving you skills and advice that centers on helping you basically seduce a woman into having the casual sex with her within the same day or the same evening that you meet that woman. That's a pickup artist. I would say at minimum, if not that same day or that same evening, at minimum within roughly a week or less after you meet a woman. That's what pickup artists are geared towards. Is helping guys get laid with a woman, preferably within the first 24 hours after they meet a woman. And I would say at maximum within less than a week or less after they meet a woman. That's a pickup artist. That's their specialty. A dating coach, which is what I promote myself as. A dating coach is someone who just gives you the basic fundamental social skills. The basic fundamental social skills and understanding of women's psychology. Basic fundamental social skills and understanding of women's psychology so that you can connect with a woman romantically or sexually. So that you can connect with a woman romantically or sexually. So they help you with just your overall social skills and your general understanding of women's psychology. Or if they're a dating coach for women, they help women improve their social skills and their general understanding of male psychology. Relationship expert, that's someone who gives you advice for the situation where after you've already connected with a member of the opposite sex, how do you maintain your connection with that person? So that's the difference between dating coaches and experts and relationship coaches and experts. Dating coaches and experts sit around getting you connected with a member of the opposite sex. Relationship coaches and experts sit around keeping you connected with a member of the opposite sex. Now, I do a little bit of both. I give clients some relationship advice, in addition to dating advice. And I would say there's some instances given men what could be categorized as pickup type advice. Advice that's centered on helping a guy hook up with a woman in, say, a week or less. But I mainly promote myself as a dating coach. Now, speaking of relationship advice, I got a guy who just gave me a testimonial. He's a guy who's in a relationship, and he was having some problems with his girlfriend. Among other things, he wanted to have more of an open relationship, whereas she wanted the relationship to be strictly monogamous. And we had multiple consultation sessions, and now he's where he wants to be. So I'm going to play this testimonial. It's about 2 minutes long, and you can listen to this guy saying that he appreciates the consultation advice that I gave him.
Hey, what's going on, Ellen? I just want to shoot this video because, honestly, man, you've changed everything in my life. For real. Man, I've had so many things that's happened in the past few weeks since we had our little BDSM consultation. And man, I got my girl. She's a completely different woman, 180 degrees. She accepts, multiple women. She accepts the fact that, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. That's just the way that it is. Man, I've met a few different women, and instantly, mode 1, 100% mode 1. I want to fuck that pussy. I want to grab that ass. I want you to suck my dick. I mean, I'm not bragging, man, but literally, I had a 60-second interaction with the woman, and my dick was literally in her mouth within 60 seconds. Old friend from high school see me out. Cornelius, hey man, I haven't seen you in so long. I said, yeah, I've been wanting to slide my dick in that mouth ever since high school. She looked at me, man, I got 3 different stories from the Mode 1 approach. Man, it's gold. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. You've really changed things. Being real, authentic, and speaking from the heart. Man, I can't say enough about it. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. And I'll be speaking with you soon.
See? Now, see, that's a guy who, even though I don't market myself as a relationship expert, the thing about that client you just heard from, he wasn't a single guy. Most guys I work with are usually single guys. He was a guy that was in a relationship. As a matter of fact, he is in a relationship as I speak. He's in a relationship. He has a serious girlfriend. But again, one of his issues was he wanted to have more of a non-monogamous relationship, which I've had quite a few of those. I've had a lot of long-term non-monogamous relationships. Yeah, he wanted more of a long-term non-monogamous relationship than a long-term monogamous relationship. But initially, he didn't have the balls to straightforwardly tell his girl that. And so I worked with him. He had a few other minor issues too, but that was the main thing, was I helped him develop the balls to tell his girlfriend straight up that he was going to fuck other women. He was scared to tell his girlfriend that he was going to just straight up fuck other women. And but now he has her at a point where she accepts the fact that he's going to fuck other women in addition to her. So, yeah. So anyway, my point was, before I played that testimonial, is that there's a difference between a matchmaker, a dating coach, a pickup artist, and a relationship expert. I would actually rank a pickup artist as kind of a subcategory of a dating coach. They're kind of a variation of a dating coach, but they're not exactly the same. Again, the main difference between a pickup artist and a dating coach doesn't put a time limit on when you should expect to get laid with women. Whereas pickup artists, they're more so about helping men get laid, usually within 24 hours after you meet a woman, or at bare minimum within a week after you meet a woman. That's what pickup artist advice centers around. I mean, that's where the term pickup comes from. A true pickup artist is someone that can go to a nightclub or a bar or a restaurant and pick up a woman. Like, in other words, get her to come to his place, or get her to invite him to her place that same day or that same night. That's what it means to pick somebody up. I mean, if you meet a woman on Monday at, say, a restaurant, but you don't end up fucking her until Friday, that's not truly pickup. That wouldn't be truly considered pickup. You know? Or if you meet a woman at a nightclub one week, the first week of December, but you don't end up fucking her until mid-January of the next year, then that's not pickup. Pickup is when you're able to meet a woman and fuck her that same day, that same night. That's true pickup. And that's why I say it's different from what a dating coach does. Because my advice is not centered on helping men specifically seduce women within minutes, within hours, or within a day or two after they meet. Although I have done that, and you guys know from my stories. I definitely have some stories where I've done that, where I have had seduced and had sex with women within literally minutes after I met them. But that's not what I solely and specifically concentrate on. So, yeah, that's the biggest thing, man. So as far as all the review, the responses I got from my last video of guys saying, well, and what's the point of you being a dating coach if you can't help a beta male transition into becoming more of an alpha male? Now, on that point, I have helped some guys go from being more beta to being more alpha, particularly if you're talking about in a non-physical way. In a non-physical way, I've helped a lot of guys go from being beta to being more alpha. But again, man, that's what I only work with guys when it comes to predominantly their non-physical attributes and characteristics. Their non-physical attributes and characteristics. Mainly stuff that has to do with their psychology, their beliefs, their attitudes, their egotistical insecurities, their fears, their verbal communication skills and overall interpersonal communication skills, their body language and demeanor, their ability to read women's body language and demeanor. Those are the things I concentrate on, man. But as far as stuff to do with, again, if a guy's main problem is that he's 100 pounds overweight, I'm not going to accept that guy as a client. I'm going to refer him to somebody who's a personal trainer or a nutritionist. Or a person's too skinny and he needs to gain weight and work out. Again, I'm not going to work with that guy. I'm going to refer him to a personal trainer that I may know. And I do know a couple. I used to work at a health and fitness club when I lived in Los Angeles. Speaking of personal trainers, a quick side note. Did you know I once read an article? They did this article one time. It said it was ranking, since a lot of guys been teasing me about having sex with other men's wives, other men's fiancés, other men's girlfriends. Oh, I'm going to address that too, since I brought that up. But I was reading this article one time. It was talking about, it was something to the effect of, here are the guys your wife is most likely to cheat with by career. By career, who your wife is most likely to cheat with. Guess what was number one? And I know some guys who their wife did cheat with this guy in his career. You guessed it, personal trainers. Did you know personal trainers are the number one guys by career that a married woman is most likely to cheat with? Yep, most likely to cheat with is a personal trainer. That's the guy that a woman is most likely to cheat with. I want to say, I'm not 100% sure, but I think number two was a woman's doctor. I think it was her doctor, if she has a male doctor as opposed to a female doctor. I want to say a woman's male doctor is number two. The second most guy that a married woman is likely to cheat with. One of the top five was the infamous pool boy. That's been going on for years. People would say that married women cheat with their pool boys. So number one, you would have to own a swimming pool. But I want to say that was in the top five, is a married woman's pool boy. But yeah, number one was personal trainer. Now, I got a little blowback, some of it lighthearted, some of it more serious, from guys saying, Alan, I think it's fucked up, man, that you saying that you despise men who cheat on their wives, but yet you've had sex with women who were cheating on their husbands, man. How do you reconcile that, man? That seems contradictory. What's contradictory about it? What's contradictory about it? I don't see where the contradiction is. For starters, I never said that I never ever have had sex with a woman who was cheating on her husband or fiance or her boyfriend. When did I ever say that? When did I ever say that? In order for me to be guilty of contradicting myself. At some point, I would have had to have said I would never, ever sleep with a woman that had a husband, a fiance, or a long-term boyfriend. I never said that. I never said that. Shoot, going back to my Blog Talk Radio days, I used to admit that I've had sex with women who were in relationships, starting with high school. That actually started with as young as when I was in high school. When I was a senior in high school, I had sex with at least 3 girls that had a long-term boyfriend at the time I fucked them. Yeah, matter of fact, if you go back to one of my early videos here on YouTube, one of the things I confessed that I felt bad about the fact that when I was in high school, there was at least one girl I slept with. She was the girlfriend of like one of my good friends, one of my high school classmates. Yeah, I slept with one of my high school classmates. He was a good friend of mine, man. I ended up sleeping with his girlfriend, man. Now, in my partial defense, she threw the pussy at me. I didn't pursue her. She more or less pursued me. Matter of fact, most of the women I've had sex with who were in relationships or who were married, they threw the pussy at me. I didn't like aggressively pursue them. They threw it at me and I took it. But yeah, man, I admitted that in one of my early videos that I had sex with a woman that was the girlfriend of one of my good friends. So I've never denied that I've had sex with women who were in relationships. Matter of fact, I might be repeating myself, but for those of you guys who own my book, The Possibility of Sex, if you own either the ebook version or the audiobook version of Possibility of Sex, you'll notice that that book is divided in 2 parts. Part 1 centers on the 4 types of manipulative time wasters that you're going to run into. And then part 2 of the book centers on women who I say that even if you end up having sex with them, you shouldn't enter into a marriage with them or enter into any type of long-term relationship with them. Where do you think the wisdom for the women I described in part 2 came from? Where do you think the wisdom that I talk about, that I give you guys in part 2 of that book came from? I want to say I say it in the book. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I'm pretty sure I say it in the book. That's where most of the wisdom I'm giving you in part 2 of The Possibility of Sex came from me having sex with women who were married, engaged to be married, or had a long-term boyfriend. That's where most of the wisdom came from. I would say to a lesser extent, some of the knowledge and wisdom I provide you in the Beta Male Revolution came from the same thing. A lot of the knowledge and wisdom I have related to women comes from me fucking women who were married, engaged to be married, or had a boyfriend. So for all of you guys who criticize me, I'm going to tell you this. If you call yourself enjoying and being appreciative of the knowledge, wisdom, and insight that I provide for you about women's psychology and women's nature, where do you think that comes from? A lot of it comes from. Over half of the knowledge, wisdom, and insight I have about women comes from me dealing with women who are in relationships. It don't come from me just dealing with single women. I would say only a small percentage of the knowledge, wisdom, and insight I've gained about women came from me messing around with single women. Most of the most valuable knowledge I have about women came from me messing, because that's when I realized how sexually duplicitous women were. If you know, that's my main issue with women that I highlight, is how sexually duplicitous they are. That's how I realized how sexually duplicitous women was from dealing with women who were married, engaged to be married, or women who had a long-term boyfriend. So now, if you're a guy who doesn't own any of my books, you don't seek to own any of my books, and then you're criticizing me for fucking other dudes' women, yeah, I'd say go ahead. That's your choice. You have the right to do that. But if you're a guy that calls yourself valuing the knowledge, wisdom, and insight I provide for you in my books, and particularly my book, The Possibility of Sex and the Beta Male Revolution, that's where most of that knowledge, wisdom, and insight came from, man. Is me fucking other dudes' women. Now, in my defense, as I mentioned a few times before, I actually stopped doing that starting with roughly the age of 40. Starting with the age of 40, I stopped hooking up with women that had husbands, fiancés, or long-term boyfriends. Mainly because my brother's real big on karma, good karma and bad karma. And he always would tell me, you shouldn't do things that might attract bad karma into your life. So, but man, when I started with the age of 17 all the way up until about 37, 38, 39, shoot. Man, here's the thing, man. And Ron Wills, I think I mentioned this once before. Ron Wills talked about this in one of his videos. He said there's some dudes, he was talking about actually, I can't remember the whole topic of his video, but there was one portion of it where he says there's not only guys who have had sex with other dudes' women, but they're bold enough to tell those guys. They're bold enough to tell those guys that they fucked their wife, their fiance, or their girl. I've been in that category at least a handful of times. There's been some instances where not only did I fuck another dude's woman, I told them to their face. At least once or twice, I can name times when I told a guy before I fucked his woman that I was going to fuck her. I told a guy, I said, I'm going to fuck your bitch. At least I want to say no less than 2 times when I did that. I told a guy to his face, I said, I'm going to fuck your bitch. And then the other times I told a guy to his face, it was after I fucked her. It was because they were talking shit to me about something. I told you, man, I told a lot of you guys, man, when you talk shit to me, man, you talking shit to the wrong motherfucker. Especially if you got a girlfriend, fiance, or wife that has some attraction to me. Your best bet is never to talk shit to me. Because I'm going to fuck your bitch, and I'll tell you in your face I'm going to fuck your bitch. Well, at least I used to be like that. Like I said, I'm reformed now. I call myself a reformed guy, starting with the age of 40. But dude, when I was in my 20s and 30s, dude, you did not want to talk shit to me if you had a girlfriend or fiance or wife that had an attraction to me. Because I was going to tell you to your face that I was going to fuck your bitch. I was going to tell you to your face. I told you, man, I had a couple of friends that even said to me, they said, Alan, man, you know, technically you should have been shot by now. You know that, don't you? You know somebody should have just pulled out a gun and shot your ass. Because, dude, you've talked a lot of shit in your life to motherfuckers, man. And I have. When I was younger, I talked mad shit to motherfuckers, man. Usually if they start talking shit to me first, I rarely was a guy who would initiate shit talking or trash talking. But if you start talking shit to me, oh man, I would come back guns blazing. Guns blazing. If you started some shit with me, what's that phrase? If you don't want none, what? Don't start none, won't be none, something like that. Yeah, dude, no, man. I don't let guys talk shit to me without me coming back 2 to 3 times as hard. I don't let guys talk shit to me without me coming back 2 to 3 times as hard. And speaking of that, you know I had to touch on this for just a brief second. Now, of course, I received some emails and inbox messages, even some messages in my comment section talking about a certain podcast host. I think we all know who I'm talking about. Who called himself, among other things, well, there was 2 issues I heard about. Supposedly, this podcast host tried to say that the listeners and viewers of his YouTube channel collectively were more intelligent than the listeners and viewers of my YouTube channel. Number one, on this tip, how this motherfucker gonna say that and he's not intelligent himself? This motherfucker says stupid shit like on a weekly basis. Okay? So let me put on my professor hat and break something down to you. I don't want to keep this under hours, so I ain't gonna be too long. But let me break something down to a lot of you guys who might be ignorant to this. There's a difference between these concepts, and a lot of people confuse them for each other. There's a difference between being knowledgeable intelligent and wise and discerning. There's a difference between being knowledgeable, intelligent, and wise and discerning. And if I had to add on one more, being well-spoken and articulate. See, a lot of people confuse and conflate those four, but they're not exactly the same thing, man. Here's what knowledgeable is. Okay, you know I always talk about Daniel Bergner's book. A book I do because he says a lot of things that confirm and validate things I say in my own book. So that's why I like it so much. Okay, here's a representative knowledge. Let's say I was to memorize all the information in this book, okay? And then after I memorize all that knowledge, all the information in that book, I repeat it back to you. What's known as regurgitating information. That's what's called regurgitating information. That's what basically being knowledgeable is. Like if you've ever watched the game show Jeopardy, most of the contestants on Jeopardy are very knowledgeable. They know how to read information, store information in their head, and then repeat it or regurgitate it later on. That's what it means to be knowledgeable. That just simply means you know how to store a lot of knowledge. You know how to store a lot of information in your head. And you know how to repeat it back to people. But that's not necessarily saying intelligence. Now let's go to intelligence. Intelligence is representative of how quickly you're able to comprehend and understand new information that's being presented to you that may be complicated to some degree. Let me repeat that. Intelligence is a measurement of how quickly you're able to comprehend and understand new information, new concepts, new mathematical formulas and scientific formulas, new information that's presented to you. You're able to quickly understand it and comprehend it. That's intelligence. Secondly, second component of intelligence is being able to use information in a manner that helps you solve problems and overcome obstacles. Solve problems and overcome obstacles. So if you ascertain some information and you're able to quickly understand it, and you're able to apply that information in a manner that helps you solve a problem or overcome an obstacle, that means you're intelligent. Finally, wisdom and discernment. Wisdom is basically when you're able to use your own experiences along with maybe knowledge too, and use that to make good decisions. Good decisions that are going to benefit your life. In other words, you don't make a lot of foolish mistakes. Once you make a foolish mistake, you learn from that mistake. You know not to make that mistake again. That means you're wise. So, and then the fourth and final one, there's some people who have a mastery of the English language. They know how to use a lot of what's known as polysyllabic terminology. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're intelligent or knowledgeable. There's a lot of bullshit artists out here who know how to speak well. That's why they're bullshit artists. Con artists. Like most con artists know how to speak well. That don't mean they're intelligent, knowledgeable, or wise. They just know how to speak well. So a lot of you guys are confusing those four things. Now going back to this podcast host, if you really listen to most of his commentary on his podcast channel, all he is a regurgitator of other people's information. And I've said that once or twice before in my previous video podcast. That's what he is. He's a regurgitator of other people's information. Name something to me that he says that's original, that's wholly original, that's unique and original. Matter of fact, I'll take it a step further. He says it himself. So he would never be able to deny what I'm saying because I've heard him say it himself. He says, I've heard him say this comment multiple times. He'll say this comment something along the lines of, I'm not a person who looks to reinvent the wheel. I'm a person who takes wheels that have already been invented, and I add my own opinionated spin on it. That's basically him admitting that he's a regurgitator of other people's information. That's all he is. He knows how to read books like this, memorize the information that's in these books, and then regurgitate it to his listening audience. That's not intelligent. All these people will be saying, oh man, yeah, I think your boy is intelligent. I think he's like, he's real intelligent. I think he's intelligent. He ain't intelligent. Well, I should say, I ain't gonna say he's not intelligent at all, but he's not as intelligent as he thinks he is. That's what I would more appropriately say. He's not as intelligent as he thinks he is. In terms of just pure intelligence, I know many of my friends and acquaintances, and I would even include myself, that would blow him away. This dude says stupid shit all the time. Stupid shit all the time. I give you one example of something he said that was just stupid. Was when he said Alan Roger Currie has never watched anybody die. He literally said it. He said that actually multiple times on his show. He said Alan Roger Currie hasn't experienced the harsh realities of life. He's never watched anybody die in front of his face when I watched both my parents die in my face. See, that's what's called, in simple terms, talking out of your ass. You know who talks out of their ass? Unintelligent people. Only unintelligent people assume what somebody else has experienced when they have no fucking idea what that other person has experienced. That's an unintelligent, stupid motherfucker. I don't respect that motherfucker's intelligence. He's a regurgitator of other authors' information, other evolutionary psychologists' information, other sociologists' information, the Center for Disease Control's statistical data, other self-help gurus, other podcasts. He regurgitates talking points from Tom Likas all the time, Tommy Sotomayor all the time. The dude is a perennial regurgitator of other people. He even regurgitates a lot of my shit. He regurgitates a lot of my talking points. The motherfucker regurgitates a lot of my information and talking points. The dude, why do you think he hasn't written a book? Why do you think he hasn't written a book? Matter of fact, I asked him directly one time. I said, how come you ain't never written a book? He said, I don't have any desire to write a book. Like that was a surprise. You'll find, man, motherfuckers who all they do is regurgitate other people's information, they ain't gonna never write no book because they know they ain't got nothing original to put in that book. You can't write a book if you ain't got nothing original to put in that shit. You can't write a book if you ain't got nothing original. Only motherfuckers who got original shit, original ideas, original thoughts, original beliefs, original assertions, original theories, original analysis. Only motherfuckers like that can write a book. If you just regurgitating shit you heard from somebody else or that you read somebody else write, you can't write no book. You can't write no book. There's a lot of people on YouTube. All they do is regurgitate and repeat other people's shit. That's all they do is repeat and regurgitate other people's ideas, other people's information, other people's facts, other people's statistical data, other people's research. That don't mean shit to me. That don't mean shit to me. Okay? You get that? Get it, got it good. And then the final thing about this other particular podcast who will remain unnamed, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Man, see, didn't I tell y'all this motherfucker wasn't right in the head? This motherfucker supposedly, lightheartedly, talked about wanting to have gay sex with me, man. Man, brother, man, if you listening, which I know you are, I'm going to tell you straight, I don't get down like that, man. I know you had a crush on me, a man crush and all that shit. Bro, I don't get down like that, okay? Okay? I know you've jacked off listening to my episodes of Erotic Conversationalists. You used to tell me in private conversations that your girl was enamored by me because you talked about me to your girl, your lady friend all the time. So I know she's probably played with her pussy listening to episodes of Erotic Conversationalists. But bruh, I am straight up heterosexual. I don't get down like that. Okay? Now, if you want to come out to your audience, more power to you. If you want to admit to them that you got gay tendencies or bisexual tendencies, hey, you know, Kevin Spacey came out too, and I know he's a big idol of yours, so I applaud you for coming out the closet, man, but I don't roll like that, okay? All right, you got that? I don't roll like that, motherfucker. I love pussy. I don't want to see no guys dicking balls and ass from behind like you do. Marinate on that shit, motherfucker. Marinate on that shit. See, your problem, the reason why you so bitter towards women, because you sexually confused, man. You don't know if you heterosexual, homosexual, or somewhere in between. That's part of your problem, motherfucker. You don't know who you are, man. When your own mother and sisters knew that you was pursuing women out of your motherfucking league, that you didn't speak to them for what, 5 years, 10 years? How does that feel, man, knowing your own mother and sisters knew you was pursuing women out of your motherfucking league? And they was trying to tell you to stay in your motherfucking league. And when they told you that, you stopped speaking to them. Marinate on that shit, motherfucker. You sexually confused motherfucker, thinking you all intelligent. Don't ever suggest that your listeners and viewers are more intelligent than mine. My listeners and viewers will wipe your listeners, viewers' asses with their intelligence. Man, get out of here. Because if they listening to your ass, I know they not intelligent. Boom! That's it, folks. I'm out of here. Enjoy your week. Again, this is probably going to be my last free video. Yeah, the rest of my videos this week, I'm probably going to do at minimum one more. Probably 2 more. They're going to be Patreon exclusives. And again, next week, I'm not doing any videos. So take care. Enjoy the rest of your day and your week.
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Who's the king?
Alan, you're the king.
Say it again.
Alan, you're the king. You're dominating me.
Say it again.
Alan, you're dominating me right now. Mode 1.
Mode 1.
Daddy, can I go, please? You're the king.
Say it again.
Oh, you're the fucking king. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You're the king, Alan.
AKA the king of verbal seduction. You know, it's the tone of your voice, how seductive your intonations are, the vibrations that you could just reach out over the phone lines and stroke a woman's breast just by the sound of your voice, how you could make her pussy so wet just by the sound of your voice. That's actually very hot.
So you said my show was what?
I said your show is powerful.
Oh, say it again.
Your show is powerful.
I bet the king would fuck me really good.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie. The king.
The king.
The king.